Hello, everyone, and welcome to MindShift Mondays. I'm Fatima Bey, the MindShifter. I will be here every Monday at 7, dropping words of wisdom, giving you some thought seeds to enhance your life, if you want them. And right now, I am doing a series called Character Assessment, and I talk about a different characteristic every week. So when we talk about character assessment, I am taking a deep dive into the different characteristics that we need to look for in the people that we keep around us, and sometimes within us as well. Doing character assessment for those around us is extremely critical to success in life, because without it, we will make gigantic, colossal mistakes by having the wrong people connected to us and in our lives in different arenas. So we're going to talk about that in great detail. And what I have to say is not about judgment. It's about making wise choices about who we keep around us, because it'll affect us. So some things might be talking about you or those that you love, but the truth is the truth, and I won't hold back. So I talk a lot about principles, and I'm going to talk about the principles of character assessment versus just the details alone. Because a lot of times we get caught up in details, we miss the principle, we miss the lesson, we got to take the test again, which is why some of you go over and over again, do the same lessons in life because you didn't learn the first time. So I'm going to talk about some principles of character assessment and how you can use them. If you stick with me every week and you actually pay attention to what I say, it will cause you to make moves in your life that will greatly enhance your life. And a year from now, you'll be glad that you did. But again, a tool is only as good as its usage. So use it. So the 3 areas that I talk about character assessment are in dating, friendship, and business. So, and I'm going to talk about all 3 of those today as well. So, and if you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and put them in. I will respond to all of them at the end. So now when it comes to the word loyalty, you can see on your screen, I'm going to talk about loyalty. When it comes to loyalty, no, I'm not going to talk about all the standard stuff that you can hear anywhere you go. Make sure you have loyal friends. Make sure this person is your day one, your BFF, your whatever term you want to use. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, but not really, because I'm going to go a little bit deeper than just that surface stuff. So first of all, let's talk about what is loyalty. I'm going to read you the definition of loyalty. Giving or showing firm and constant support or allegiance to a person or institution. Let me read that again. The definition of loyalty is giving or showing firm and constant support or allegiance to a person or institution. Now, the key words in there are firm and constant, support, and allegiance. We're going to talk about all 4 of those words. So obviously we all want, when it comes to dating, let's talk about dating first. Obviously we all want someone that's loyal, that remains faithful to us, blah, blah, blah. Okay, that's all surface stuff. We know that. Firm and constant are keywords in the definition of loyal. You want someone who is firm and constant with their support of you. Not just firm and constant that they're in a relationship or they hold the title of husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever. Significant other, whatever word you want to use. You want someone who's firm and constant in their support of you. So what does that look like? That means they support your dreams. That means that they support what you do. It's not just good enough to be loyal to the relationship. Now, that might burst some people's bubbles, but it's not just good enough to be loyal to the relationship, because that's not that hard. It's much harder to be loyal to the person. Do they give you constant, firm, and consistent support? Just these are things I want you to think about. Answer for yourself. But I want to turn that on its head. Do you give that as well? You can't just expect people to be loyal if you ain't giving it to. Just something to think about. Loyalty builds trust. And here's the thing. It's a catch-22. So loyalty causes you to trust a person. You're not going to be loyal to a person unless you trust them. They go hand in hand. And it does require some work to get them together. So Again, my question is, are you loyal? We all want somebody loyal, but are you loyal? Reciprocity. Yes, reciprocity. You need to be what you want them to be as well. So, are you loyal? Do you stop people when they are talking about your partner? That is a very, very big, fat telling of who you are and who you aren't. Now, I have a boyfriend. If you're talking about him, I'm not going to be like, yeah. Well, I ain't loyal to him if that's the case, right? No. If you are loyal to your mate, you're going to defend them when they're not there. And they should do the same to you. If they're not doing the same to you, you might want to back up and question some things. I'm just saying. Now, I do want to talk about this because this is coming up in some of your minds, even if you haven't said so. Do you cheat? Well, I didn't cheat, so therefore I'm loyal. Like I just told you, that's not good enough. And some of y'all have issues not cheating. Okay, let me put this out on the table because everybody doesn't like to talk about this and like to pretend like it's not true. But you might have lustful feelings for someone. You may even have romantic feelings for someone who you're not dating, but you're dating this person. The difference between loyalty and not loyal is that you don't give into those feelings. It's not that you don't have them. It's that you don't give into them. Are you loyal to your mate? Because if you're loyal to your mate, you're not going to cross that line. You may want to cross that line. And I'm not saying that you're evil if you want to cross that line. If you have feelings and you like that person is hot and you might want to do them, whatever it is. If you have feelings, address them. But still remain loyal to your partner. If you cheat or not, it's not about your feelings. It's about a choice. Period. End. Whether you like it or not, whether you agree or not, doesn't matter. It's still the same. It's about your choices. You make a choice. Loyalty is actually, at the end of the day, it is a choice and not a feeling. And I got to say this, as Americans, we're falsely taught to rely on our feelings way too much. And that is a problem. And it causes problems in relationships because it causes problems in relationships, it causes problems with work and friendships because we're way too much taught to worship our emotions and that our emotions must be our God and our guide for everything. No, they're not. You should have emotions. You're going to have emotions as humans, but they should never have you. There is a difference. Now, you may have lustful feelings for someone. You may desire someone else, but if you're loyal to your mate, you're not going to give in to those desires. You're going to figure out how to deal with them, but not give in to them. There is a difference. All right. So do you make a constant decision to not give in to that lust? It's good if you do, but if you have to keep making it every day, then you need to deal with the bigger issue behind why that is. That's a whole nother segment, but I'm just going to put that out there and say that. Now, are you supportive? You want someone who's going to support you. You want someone who's loyal to you, but are you giving it back? Are you supportive of your boyfriend or girlfriends? Are you loyal of your boyfriend or girlfriends? Are you loyal to them and supportive of them in their endeavors? Not just do you give to me all the time, but do you support them? Because don't ask them to do something that you ain't willing to do for them. That would be called really selfish and not someone who should be in a relationship. Just saying. And someone said, yes, self-discipline. It does boil down to self-discipline. Self-discipline is very much tied to maturity. But that's good. That's a whole nother segment I'll do in the future. And the other thing I wanted to say is loyalty is demonstrated over time. It is demonstrated by tests. And I don't care who you are and what you do and how you try to live your life. Tests to test your loyalty will absolutely 100% guaranteed come in your life. Are you going to pass that test? If you don't, now you know what you need to work on. If you do, you've proven yourself. But tests will come. Believe what you see. And that includes believe what you see in yourself and admit, okay, I messed up there. What did I do wrong? How can I do better? I didn't say beat yourself up about it because that solves nothing. That just gives Satan's happy joy dances that you're beating yourself up. Don't do that. I'm saying fix what's messed up, and move on. Make sure you're holding yourself to the same standard that you expect to receive from your partner when it comes to dating. And just to give it balance, I'm always going to give every topic balance because of the mental extremists. That's what I call you, out of balance people who take everything to the extreme and everything's black and white and don't know how to think outside of that box. No, it doesn't mean when I say don't expect something from your partner you're not willing to give. I don't mean that you don't have weaknesses, because we all do. Matter of fact, in a healthy relationship, your partner should have strengths where you are weak and vice versa. That is beautiful. Nobody needs to be perfect. You just need to yin and yang, right? You need to yin and yang. So where my deficit is, well, my partner's really good in that area. And where my strengths are my partner's not as good in that area. Beautiful. That is a perfect union. Because if you're both exactly the same, that's a very imperfect union. That's bad. That's out of balance. That's too much of the same thing. Yuck. You need to balance each other out. So when I say don't expect something from someone that you're not willing to give, I don't mean that they're perfect. I just mean standard wise. Don't expect them to be loyal and you're not. Don't expect, oh, you can't cheat on me, but I'm thinking about it every 10 minutes. No. What? Come on. So balance. So, let's talk about friendships. When it comes to loyalty, most of the same things that apply to dating also apply to friendships. But I want to put a special emphasis on how they talk about you when you're not around. And we all find out what somebody said about us when we weren't around. It always comes back to us. It just always does. So when that happens, what did this person say? How did they respond? And loyalty is not going to look the same in every response. Everybody's not going to be like, don't be talking about my friend. Da-da-da-da-da. Some people like me might do that because I'm more bold and blunt. Not everybody has that manner. Within their mannerisms, did they stick up for you? Did they make someone question what they were saying about you? Because that's another form of sticking up for you. Everybody doesn't talk the same. Don't expect them to be as blunt and bold as me. It's okay if they're not just like that. They can have their own version, but how do they talk about you? Do they talk about you in the negative? Do they talk about everything that's wrong with you and how your marriage is going to fail and yada, 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 and whatever garbage? If that's how they're talking about you, you might want to reassess how close you want to have that person, because they're clearly not loyal. They're clearly not loyal. And just to bring you balance, healthy loyalty does not mean worship. I'm going to explain what I mean when I say that. Some people feel like I got to be loyal to my friend, even though they just murdered a whole school bus of children. I got to be loyal to my friend. No, you don't. Yes, I use an extreme example, but you don't need to. Loyalty does not mean worship. I'm sorry, but if you just did something that crazy, there's something wrong. I'll be loyal to you in that I will help you while you go to jail. I'll come visit you. But loyalty does not mean that you don't tell your friend when they're wrong. That's not being loyal. If you don't tell your friend when they're wrong and you let them keep doing the wrong, you're being loyal to yourself, not them. Because when you're loyal to a person, you're going to be loyal to what's best for them, not what's easiest for you. Now, that's a real tip that people don't think about. Well, I got to be loyal. I can't say no. If you are loyal, you're going to be loyal to that friendship. You're going to be loyal to what's best for them. Again, not what makes it more comfortable for you. Because you not speaking up when you should is more comfortable for you. It has nothing to do with what's best for them. So if I see a person that's doing something wrong, my friends will all tell you, I have no problem letting you know X, Y, Z. Now, it does depend on what it is, because I'm also not a big fan of jumping in people's faces and jumping on people's throat. That's not my manner either, because I don't think that that's helpful, pushes people away, and not a good thing to do. And to me, it's imbalanced. However, if I see you doing something harmful to yourself or others, I am going to speak up, because not only I don't want those other people to be harmed, but I also don't want people pushing you away and bad things, opportunities to be missed for you because of the negativity that you're spewing out that you're just not self-aware of. So I will say something. And if you have people around you that you can't have those conversations with, why the hell are they around you? I'm just saying. And the other thing I want to talk about is business. And this to me is actually the biggest part of this conversation. So when it comes to loyalty in business, this is a very big freaking deal. And unfortunately, especially in America, our fake corporate culture of nonsense, it kind of produces the opposite of loyalty with employees, which is why we are where we are in a lot of bad ways in America. Bottom of the barrel in a lot of ways for first world countries. So most Americans don't think about this too deeply, but you also want to produce loyalty for your staff and employees. So right now, I'm mostly going to talk to those who are business owners, managers, executives, leaders, because we think we need to fill a position and just do a job, but not produce loyalty. And I'm telling you right now, you want to, but I'm going to break it down into why. So I want you to think about this, and I want you to answer this question for yourself. What is your company culture? Not what you want it to be. That's not what I asked. What currently, right now, is your company culture? Here's the questions you can ask yourself to figure that out. Do people feel comfortable speaking up and speaking out about things? Do people actually give their absolute best? Do they care about the well-being of my business? What is your company culture? Answer those 3 things, and it'll tell you. Do you give your employees a reason to be loyal? Something that you should think about. The best workers are those who actually want to be helpful, who actually want to support your business, who actually want to be there. Not that they don't have days where they just don't want to be there, or they'd rather sit at home and watch TV than work. We all want to do that, right? I don't mean that. That's normal. I mean, do they really want to come work at their job? Now, sometimes the answer is no, because they're in the wrong position, not because there's anything wrong with what you're doing, but maybe you have them in the wrong position. Their strengths are in one area, but you have them working in another. And let me tell you, as business owners, it is okay to create positions for good employees. In fact, you'd be foolish not to. I think everyone should. And that position doesn't exist, figure it out. Change positions, change titles, make it work so that you're pulling the strengths out of that person, because that's going to make them happier. And that is that's one piece of them being loyal. But I'm going to tell you a story in a minute that really exemplifies that. So most people want to be in a place where they can succeed, or they feel like, I really want to succeed here. I want to be successful in this position at least. They want to be a part of something great. And this is especially for smaller businesses. They want to be a part of something great. And so they stick with you because they really like you. They like what you do for people. They like what you do for business, whatever it is. And they really want to be a part of something great because they're like, you know what? Fatima's going somewhere. I want to stick with her. Or Jojo's going somewhere. I want to stick with him, whatever. And they want to be appreciated. People want to be appreciated. I'm going to tell you the story. I used to work at David's Bridal. I was there for 10 years. I was the alteration manager for the last half of that. I need to explain this to you. At the time when I was there, that particular David's Bridal was one of the highest volume bridal shops in America. Multi-million-dollar business. And I had to run the most difficult part of that, which was the alteration department. So most people don't realize that, but that was like the hardest place to be in there. So I had to run that department. I started off with a whole room full of staff who were mostly double my age. So I was like half their age. Most of them had been sewing as long as I've been alive. And here I am, this young American, and they're all from different countries too. Here I am, this young American coming along, being the boss and telling them what to do. And that, the seamstresses at first, they didn't want to respect me. I mean, I just told you the parameters. I didn't tell you everything, but there was more to it. But generally speaking, that was it. Eventually, through showing them respect and showing them that I can be a loyal boss to them, I ended up earning their respect. And you know what? I could get them to do anything for me after a while. At first, it was pulling teeth. It was hard, but I toughed it out. When I look back now, I'm like, damn, I was good. But I toughed it out. And I was able to eventually get them to to respect me, to want to work for me. I didn't have to pull teeth to get them to do things. I might want them to work when they didn't want to work. Sometimes that didn't happen because they had other obligations or whatever. But if they didn't have other obligations, they were usually willing to come in for me or do the extra mile if I asked for it. Why? Because I showed them respect. I showed them respect. I told you everybody was from another country. I made sure I asked them, I asked them questions about their country, their language. I wanted to know more about their lives. I gave them gifts for absolutely no reason, which is something you should all practice in every kind of relationship. Why do you need to have a holiday to give somebody something? Do you know it means more when you give it to them when they don't expect? Especially in romantic relationships. Randomly, give me some flowers. Randomly, give them a card. Randomly, buy them a sweater, whatever it is that works for you. Do that stuff. And I did that sort of thing with my staff. One day I just gave them all a single stem rose with a thank you note attached. Everybody in the whole department. Why? Because I wanted them to know I appreciated them. It was so much easier to get loyalty out of them because I first showed it to them. So if you're a boss, if you're an executive, how you do this is going to be different in the type of business that you have. But do it. And make sure that it actually is felt that it's meant. When we get obligatory gifts, think about it. Think about yourself. When you get an obligatory gift, do you really appreciate it the same way? You don't. That's just a fact. We don't. Maybe we should, but reality is we don't. So if you want loyalty from your staff, give it to them. Once your staff feels loyal to you and they feel appreciated, you can then get the 100 from them instead of the 25 that most Americans give. I can tell you right now, if you do not have a good culture in your business, it will guaranteed fail, or at least guaranteed not maximize your highest heights, maximize what you can do, the profits you can make, the heights you can reach. If you have staff who feel unappreciated or feel no reason to be loyal to you. So I want you to really think about this, and especially if you're business owners or you're just a manager. You could be a manager at a Stewart's and still manager at a convenience store, if you don't know what Stewart's is. So a manager at a convenience store, and you could still apply this principle. You could be the executive for AT&T and still apply this principle. The details are going to be different for each of you, but the principle still applies. Make sure people know that you actually appreciate them, that you're actually loyal to their well-being and they're not just a freaking number. Because if you treat people like they are a number, all they're going to give you is numbers. They will never exceed those numbers, though. If you want to maximize your business, your company, make sure the culture produces people that want to produce. Why should you get 50% out of somebody when you can get 100? Start giving 100 to them too. And a lot of people don't like to hear that because they only want to look at, let me just look at the numbers. Let me look at the numbers. Let me just look at the numbers. Greed, greed, greed. Well, that's the reason why your culture sucks and your company's not as good as it can be. Just saying. Now, let's see. To balance it out, I also want to say not everyone is going to be loyal. No matter what you do. No matter how good you are, you're not going to get 100% loyalty. So please don't misunderstand me to say this is 100% guaranteed. It is not 100% guaranteed. Nothing anybody says to you is 100% guaranteed except for taxes and there's a sky. That's it. That's it. Nothing is going to be 100%. However, you can maximize what you have by following this principle and getting the best out of everyone who's around you. Because if you are a loyal person, people want to reciprocate that. It is human nature. It really is. And I know that there are some business executives and business owners out there right now who have gotten want to do that, but gotten kind of lost in the sauce, so to speak. You've gotten so focused on the numbers due to some pressures that are just real in your life. But don't forget about the humans who work for you, because if you forget about them, trust me, they're going to forget about you too. So not everybody's going to be loyal. And I also wanted to give balance to this message. Please, 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 please. This does not mean be fake Don't be fake nice and fake loyal. That's so much worse than being monotone. Please don't do that, because corporate America is full of freaking fakes. Matter of fact, America's known for fakes. Don't do that. That does the opposite. Being fake pulls people backwards, causes you to walk backwards. It just ruins everything you're trying to do. If you're mad, be mad. Don't stay there though. But be real. Be real, because people will be more loyal to a real person who has bad days but overall treats them well than someone who's fake nice every day. The people who are fake nice every day, I just really want to punch in the face. Now, I'm not violent, so I don't. And also, I can't really do this from jail, so don't punch them in the face. Please don't do that. But I get so annoyed at them that's how I feel. Like, that's how annoying they are. Don't be real. Be real. But you want to consider how selfish you are if you actually don't think about the well-being of your staff and your employees. You really need to think about how selfish you are and what you can do about that. I'm just being honest with you. If that's you. But do the things that will cause the ones who work for you and work with you to blossom. When they see that, they will feel loyal to you. I will tell you, I had a woman that worked for me when I had, for those of you that don't know, I used to make and design wedding gowns. I had a business doing that for many years. And I had a woman, and I was out I had a woman that worked for me, and she was just kind of an acquaintance who I ended up hiring. This woman one day informed me that she worked for me. I did not pay her that much because I couldn't afford to. She lived far away from my office, but yet she would come to work for this little part-time job. But one day she told me why. The reason she came to work for me was because she wanted to be around me. She literally told me this one day. It caused my mouth to drop, like, whoa, really? She just wanted to be in my presence. She didn't really care that much about the job itself. But you know what? She did a good job. You know why? She was loyal to me. Because I had already invested in her life. I was constantly investing in her life. That's just how I am. People around me, I'll start giving you words of wisdom. People come to me for advice, and I do it all the time because I can't help it. It's in me. And she was receiving that from me. So she felt the need to be around me because there's days where she was having, just mental health issues or just thoughts. I would say more so, mental thoughts than just mental health issues. But being around me was helpful for her. So she was there. But see, at my point in telling you that is the principle behind it. I deposited into the people around me and I got deposits back. So if you want to run your business and you want to have a healthy relationship, make sure you're giving just as many deposits that you want to receive. When you're in a relationship, and go back to relationship for just one moment. When you're in a relationship and you're the only one giving deposits, you are in the wrong relationship. Get the hell out. Just saying. But when it comes to employees and staff and having a business, I just want to say that. So now I'm going to go ahead and answer your questions and see if I can respond to people here. So, hello, everyone. Beth, Monica, my sister's on here. Monica Bey, she's kind of semi-famous, actually, so y'all look her up. And Naomi said, I have left jobs that make you feel like you are just a number and had no loyalty to the workers. That is absolutely true. And we all can say that, right? We've all been there. At least most of us been at a place where you're just like, I'm just here to do my job. And when your attitude is, I'm just here to do my job, I'm here to punch a clock and check a box, are you ever giving 100%? Hell no. You're not going to give 100%. Hello, Beth. Do you guys have any other questions or comments? Hi, Rick. I appreciate Rick Wolslayer. He is a good friend of mine. I absolutely love this man. You want to talk about someone who's loyal? This man has been so supportive of me for many years now, through my ups and downs. And you want to talk about a loyal friend, Rick Wolslayer. I'm just going to say that publicly. That's a loyal friend for you. And Monica. Hi, Monica. But any other questions or comments from you guys? I want some comments too. What do you have to say about what I say? Disagree or agree with anything? Anybody disagree? Oh, good one. Good question, Naomi. Great topic and very true. Yes. So you can't be loyal to just yourself. That is such an excellent question. No. Quick answer. No. When you're loyal to just yourself, you know what we call it? Narcissism, selfishness. Give it many other words. You should never be loyal to just yourself. Now, some people say, oh, you got to be loyal to yourself. You got to be loyal to yourself. When it comes to balance, there are situations in which you need to be loyal to yourself. So let me explain that. If you're in a situation where you are the only one loyal in the relationship, then you need to be more loyal to yourself than you are to the relationship and get out of it for your own mental health, for your own well-being. If you're in an abusive situation, you have to be more loyal to yourself than you are to the abuser and get yourself out of the situation. So that situation, you need to be more loyal to yourself if that's the way you want to phrase it. I would just say you need to take care of yourself. But when it comes to anything else, should you be loyal to just yourself? No. It's very selfish if you're just loyal to just yourself. Well, thank you, Beth. She said, I think your MindShift Mondays are fantastic. Thank you. Jeffy Vibes is watching. You guys, he's an artist in Nigeria. Go listen to his stuff. Some of his music is actually pretty good. And thank you, Jeffy, for being on here. Any other questions or comments? Going once, going twice. I got work to do, so I'm gonna go. All right. So thank you guys for showing up. You are over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see these MindShift Mondays on YouTube. I'm going to actually start a playlist on my YouTube channel. So you'll just wait for that. I'll be announcing that when that comes out. And for those of you who don't know, I do offer coaching. I am a coach. I'm a MindShift coach. And I absolutely love what I do. I'm a very direct, tell it like it is coach, which is actually why people come to me, because I don't sugarcoat shit and tell you it's chocolate. I'm going to be real. I'm going to be honest, but only come to me if you're willing to make changes and you're willing to work at being a better you. If not, then don't come to me. If so, I will absolutely help you get there. And I love being able to do that for people. Actually, to be honest with you, the money is not the most fulfilling part of my coaching. Watching people grow and watching them thrive. And I even coach elderly women, watching them thrive and renew their lives. It's freaking amazing. I love it. So, oh yes, Naomi says, I'm a theracoach because I really am half therapist, half coach. I'm not technically a therapist, and I tell people I'm not a therapist, but they still keep coming to me anyway. And I am a theracoach because I infuse therapy into my coaching, because the truth is people need both. And I don't ignore anything that needs to be dealt with. Yes, Monica says you will get the real talk from Fatima for sure. And she knows me. Oh yes, I'm going to read what she said out loud because I think this is true. This is a great topic for those getting their businesses together in 2025. If you're building employees, you do want to make sure that you're keeping everything I'm saying in mind. So keep this, save it, play it again. Some free advice for you. Everyone who's starting or running a business, I want to see you successful. And that's why I will pick apart everything, because I want to see you successful. So that's why I'm on here saying these things. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm doing this because there's just too many people who I know need the stuff that I'm saying, because I see it out there. So, thank you everybody for all the great topics, and I'm sorry for all the great comments, and questions. Anything else before I go? All right. So people do need this. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm going to get going because I have a lot of other things to do. And by the way, if you don't already know it, I forgot to tell my website. It's fatimabey.com. You already know my name, so it's just my name.com. I also have a podcast, and I really think that you should listen to it. I also want to shout out my partner in crime, my business partner, and I have Bay and Bess, if those of you who don't already know. my business partner she's a therapist. She's going to start doing Mental Masters Mondays next Monday, right after me at 8:00. Well, a little bit after me at 8:00. So I'm going to talk about that again next week, and I recommend that you listen to her. And my podcast episode tomorrow is actually all about her. So if you want to listen to the MindShift Power podcast, there's a link on my website. You can go there. I highly, 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 highly recommend that you go there, because if you really want better mental health, listen to her. She's real talk like me. She's totally different than me, but she's real talk. She will give you the real deal. So go ahead and listen to the podcast episode tomorrow. Airs at 5 a.m. So you can listen to it anytime after that. And then you can get a piece of what she's like. You can hear what she has to say. And I strongly recommend that you follow her next Monday. I will be there too. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Monica, for putting the website in the comments. And I appreciate that. And I will see you all next week, promptly at 7. I love you guys.